and that kept sending me. I don't know why that little portion was the best portion throughout. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about the new Andrew Schulz special Life. Now, I just want to preface this and say his crowd work and stuff is good, and him on Brilliant Idiots is extremely hilarious. Like, I have cried laughing to him on Brilliant Idiots, and like his crowd work, like I said, is cool. But his like last stand-up, I didn't love it because I don't like that type of comedy. But since this time he said he was gonna, be telling a story about how his wife got pregnant and stuff like that, I was like, okay, I like a story, so I was like, I'm gonna click on it because I like the story. If it wasn't that, if he didn't frame it like that, I wouldn't have clicked on it. So, and then too, the little promo he did with Matt Damon, that was a good, really good promo. So when I clicked on it, when it first started, it was kind of weird because, usually comedians, it opened with them coming out and then, then starting their set. This time he did a joke before, like a preview. Like he did some little joke before that I didn't need about New York because everybody that's watching not from New York or Chicago, so that I didn't feel like I need to be in there. So he probably put it before because it didn't really go with the rest of it, so I guess he was like, oh, let me just put it before because he wanted to keep it or something, or maybe he wanted to do like an ode to New York or something. I don't know. But then, it plays all the videos of him, when he was younger and stuff, since it ties into, life and birth, the birth story. So when he first started, oh, I forgot his outfit. I did like his outfit. It was simple. It matched. When in doubt, if you're a stand-up comedian and you want to out for a special, do something that's matching, because it is hard to fail a matching fit. So the outfit was good. I feel like it was great. I think it was great, but it looked good. It was like a little two-piece set, whatever. But no, two-piece set. Then he had it open with a white shirt, which was cool. What I was saying? Oh, when he opened, I thought he was gonna lead us up to the birth story where he started with his wife being pregnant, which obviously, spoiler alert, we knew his wife was pregnant, so we knew that it ended up being successful and they ended up working and they ended up getting what they wanted, which was a child. But he led with her being pregnant and whatever. Then I don't know why he needed the back. Well, I wish he would have used the backdrop more in it, because when he said when he first found out about the baby that when he first found out it was a girl, him on the bed, how he was looking, whatever. Which, okay, I don't know if that's when he found out it was a girl that she was pregnant, but okay, that's what the joke was. He found out it was a girl, so that's how he was looking. So he showed the picture, which was cool. But I wish throughout I know at the end he played the video, which was cool. But I wish he would show some other stuff throughout to make us connect with it, because it felt like it wasn't really a connection with it. Like, so he started off with the ending, so we knew that she was pregnant, which obviously we didn't know. But that's how he started that joke, like, hey, my wife pregnant. And then he did some other filler jokes that I didn't need. I can't even remember what they was. I didn't. It was like a good 20 minutes. I was like, when are we gonna get to the story? Like, he was telling other jokes. I wish he would have just focused on the birth story. He could even combine something for him, his childhood. It was just like, it was filler. I didn't really need that. He had a good 20 or 30 about the birth story, but everything else was just like, I didn't really need it. It was like, I feel like his older stuff. Like, when you're storytelling, I don't know. I didn't love that. So yeah, some filler that I didn't need. I didn't laugh at. So it was a good 20 minutes, maybe even 30, that I wasn't really into it at all or laughing at all. Because like I said, that's not my type of comedy. If that's your type of comedy, that's fine. That's not my type of comedy. I like a storytelling. Then if you do current events, it's a special way, or like just situational comedy, it's a certain way you have to do it to make me laugh. But so I feel like it's filler. Then when he started talking, the thing that the segment, the section, the bit, whatever you want to, whatever word you want to use, the little section when he was talking about him at the hospital, Loop and Jelly, that, I don't know, he kept saying that and that kept sending me. I don't know why that little portion was the best portion throughout. Then too, obviously, the ending was good too. He showed the video. Well, the ending after the video too was good. I get to that after the video where he you thought that was the ending, but he told some more, which I think he needed to tell. Like the dude he was talking about, what did he call him? I wish he would have highlighted that more because I can't remember when he said it again after he played the video of him and his wife, you know, together at the end, and when he talked about the dude Meatball. I think the dude was called Meatball. He should have made his name, said his name a little more. So I remember what he was talking about when he started talking, like who he was talking about, because obviously I was listening, so I knew who he was talking about. But when he said the name, I was like, Meatball. Then he started saying the dude that kept saying the jokes. With the jokes the dude kept saying were actually funny. The few jokes he had was super funny. I don't know if the dude actually really said the jokes or he created the jokes himself, but they were pretty funny. But see what I was talking about? Okay, the Loop and Jelly just hit me. That little portion was the funniest portion. So I wish he would have had more moments like that he created. You know, when you're a comedian, you make situations funny or overhype situations and make them drawn out. Like he can draw. Clearly he can draw. He drew out that whole little segment of him going to the, you know, to give the sperm. So he could have drew that out. So he could have drew out other stuff so he didn't have filler. And I also feel like for some reason his other comedy don't require this, but when you storytelling, especially storytelling something that's very meaningful to you, especially a birth story, you know, you trying to get your wife pregnant or trying to get pregnant if you're a woman, he wasn't sitting in the uncomfortable moments. It's like he didn't want any silence. Like I said, usually his comedy you don't really need silence like that. But for this, like, he wasn't sitting in the like Jamie Foxx, which too, I know Jamie, I don't think toured it, so he probably was his first time really doing it like that. So of course he was emotional, because I guess when you do something over and over, like Andrew toured it obviously, and so he did it most of the time, so I guess you ain't gonna have the same emotion when you do it so many times. But he could have tried to pull it out, but it's special so we could see the raw emotion. But I feel like we didn't really get any emotions from him for real. Like he wasn't really sitting in it. Like towards the end when he really, I can't remember what he said, but it was towards the end and he said something where the crowd, you know, he brought the crowd down for silence, but he didn't sit in it long enough for you to feel anything. Like he almost rushed past it. Like he didn't want to break down, or he just didn't want to sit in the quietness. Like he didn't want, or maybe he didn't want the audience. Either he didn't want to sit in the quietness, he didn't want the audience to sit in quiet, which is fine when you doing something like that. You having pausing, taking a moment, letting it breathe. Like it's okay, because he obviously brought it back up, you know, after he played the video. So you can bring, when you're a comedian, you can bring it up and down, but when you bring it down, it has to be that, like, you need to let the crowd sit in it. I feel like maybe he's uncomfortable with silence, or maybe he didn't want to get super vulnerable. Obviously him telling the story is vulnerable, but it's like he rushed past that moment of like painfulness. It's like I felt like I was about to get to emotion and he rushed quickly out of it. I'm like, okay, I could have sat in that a little longer. Like he could have brought some tears out for him. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he brought some tears out to some people, but if he would have just sat in it a little longer, he would have drew it out the motion. Like when you're doing something like that and it's like dramatic, or like, you know, something that's emotional or something like that, you have to. He didn't sit in it long enough to me. Like even when you see Ali, I'm not trying to name other comedians, I'm trying to give an example. Like Ali Siddiq, I think it was the second domino effect. He don't got something out there that I kind of confused now. I be trying to remember, but when he's talking about his sister, where he just sat, he was sitting down, he sat down and really sat in it and even cried. I'm not saying Andrew had to cry, but he could have sat in it a little longer, you know what I'm saying, and really felt the feeling of it. It seemed like he rushed past it, but anywho, and somebody else, Jamie did it too, you know, Jamie cried a few times, but like I said, maybe because he didn't did it so many times, and I don't think Jamie did it as many times, so obviously when you ain't told the story over and over and then come like just repetitive, like repeating stuff, and then obviously you're gonna sit in the emotion and be with the emotion. But so that's that. Like I said, it was a good segment of it that I like, and a good segment of it. It's like when the artists, like the P&T album, they did 20-some songs. It's like they could have cut in half. Like, I'm not saying he could have cut the special in half, but I think he could have just drawn out other moments and took away like the filler. It felt like filler that didn't go with the special to me. Like it didn't go with the story time to me. He didn't go with the storytelling. It was just like some random jokes. I don't know. Yeah, it was just kind of weird. That part was weird. But like when he got to the actual story, like 30 minutes in or 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, whatever, I wasn't really looking at the clock. I'm just assuming this what the time was. Then that's when it kind of picked up. But the other stuff is like filler to me. So it was cool. He put out another special, unless he's gonna tell another story, I'm probably not gonna watch it. If he go back to like, which I'm pretty sure he will go back to, unless something significant happened in his life. Like he's not really a storytelling comedian, really. So next special I probably won't watch it. If you do maybe a crowd work special, maybe you'll watch it. But if you do just I'm sure I'm not gonna watch it. But I clicked on this one because I like him on Brilliant Idiots, yes. But two, he was gonna tell a story time, and I didn't know the story about, I knew they kept always say like he had a hard time. It was hard for him and his wife to get pregnant, but I didn't know really the story. So I also wanted to see the story. So like that's why too, the filler to me, I was like, this ain't really what I clicked on it for. But maybe he wanted to keep some of his original, like who he is at core. Maybe he wanted to keep that, but also obviously tell something that meant something to him. So which is cool. But I think that's all I got. I was thinking for the longest, like, am I going to say something or not? When I first watched it, I was like, okay, am I going to say something or not? Because it is a mean story to him, so you don't want to say anything bad towards it. But it's like, it was good and bad in it, like, And I talked about him in other videos that I was going to watch it, or I couldn't wait to watch it. So I'm like, let me go and review it. And I reviewed Standup. And I don't say it this many times. I don't click on stuff if I don't think I'm going to like it. Now, if I don't like it, that's another thing. I don't know. But I don't click on it thinking I'm not going to like it. But, I mean, obviously, he's not a storytelling comedian. So, I mean, I think he did the best he could for him not being a storytelling comedian. That's not usually what he do. That's why he did, the other stuff in between. But that's all I got. Bye.